Oh. What's that, Rex?
Hello, can you hear me, Ed? Hello? Hello, Ed, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Hang
I
on a
got a new
second.
docking station. I got a new docking station for my old laptop and trying to figure out the ports and everything on it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Popping your head up. Where are you at? You at home?
No, I'm in Beeville.
Yeah.
I'm in Beeville, Texas. On my way to Laredo.
Dadgum, what are you doing?
I got a removal for the Parks and Wildlife Department.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in a tree.
For TPWD?
Yes.
So do you have to be a state government vendor?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I'm being subcontracted.
I've got a bid job that I've bid for 4 hives I'm taking out of bathrooms at the Army Corps of Engineers property close to me.
That's cool.
And so I'm having to go through all the red tape of setting up as a government contractor and everything.
I've got a pest
How far
control.
of a drive is Laredo? How were you?
For me, where I started, it was like 4.5 hours.
Wow.
I'm about 2 hours away right now, about halfway there. So my goal was to make it to Beeville by 6:30 and to get on the meeting, and then from the meeting I'd go on. So I've got actually I'm going to camp there tonight, and then wake up in the morning, do the removal, and then get back to Wharton by tomorrow afternoon. Get the bees in the box. So yeah. Fun.
Okay, yeah, it looks like Michael and Chris is having problems logging in, and Michael is on a bee removal job. And Mark's, what's
I'm
the
on a
link?
bee removal.
It's in the,
I'm on a bee removal job too. So what? just stop.
I'm just driving home from a bee removal.
Boom. That's my girl. Be unstoppable.
that
So
the,
what? The bees will wait. They'll be fine. This only happens once a month.
I'm gonna copy the info and put in our message or Facebook message group so that Mark's got the link. It's the same link every month. It doesn't change. Password doesn't change. So, man, I just love my fast computer. Not.
You know, I printed out the minutes this time. Or
Yeah,
not-
you
not
left
the minutes. I didn't print out the minutes. I printed out the schedule,
right.
the meetings, your itinerary this time, but I forgot to print out the minutes to go over them in the meeting. I didn't bring my computer either. So if anybody's got beef with it, I'll go back and edit the minutes.
Well, that's why we have you have it ready ahead of time and just say, hey, everyone read it on your own time, and then we vote on approving it.
Yeah.
So,
and then, I mean, honestly, if anybody needs to go in, I mean, anybody can go in and fix it. It's not a big deal.
right,
You know,
right.
It's open for editing for anybody. So whatever. But yeah,
Hey, Ed, how come you're not going fishing with us?
Yeah.
Why aren't you going fishing with us, man?
who, me?
Yeah, you.
When?
September 21st.
No, it's
Or
August 21st.
24th? August 21st. August?
Yeah.
August
Okay.
21st?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I haven't, it's like what, $200 or what?
Like 265, I think, 280, something like
It's
that.
too late. The boat's full now. The lady
Yeah, it's-
organizing it told me.
They needed their money by the
Oh
middle of June.
man. I'm
I
so
messaged
sorry.
in the group. Everyone was like, oh, because y'all are all giving me a crap about not inviting y'all fishing. So then I did.
I know. And you called my bluff. No, seriously, I do want to go fishing. I thought I had more time, and I totally dropped the ball on that. So
I
damn
think
it.
we need to schedule another one in the future too, you know? I
Yeah,
think that'd
just for us, like just
Yeah.
the board or
Okay.
all the
Well,
members.
To like charter the boat, you need 14 people, and I don't think. I mean, like, that's not entirely true. To make it most cost effective, you need 14 people. And
Right.
we could, charter it with less, but then it's like more per person.
Yeah, when I paid my money to the lady, she I asked her if there was any open spots, and she said there might be if somebody drops out. But
Okay,
So I
yeah,
had-
sometimes that happens. People drop. But yeah,
So-
I don't know.
Do I need to call to find out if somebody's dropped, or what do I need to do?
I can text you her info.
Marcus Aurelius,
Hey,
how
how
you
you
feeling?
doing, Mark?
good. How's everyone else?
Living La Vida
Good.
Loca.
I'm feeding bees. That's how I'm doing. Unfortunately, we in my area and where my hives are, I just haven't had any flow at all this year. So it's feeding season.
Oh wow, that's terrible. Sorry to hear that.
It happens. It's just the way it is.
I'm feeding too. Not all of us can live in the promised land of what are those trees you guys have in Houston?
We've got the tallow.
Tallows. Yeah,
Honey
that's them.
Tallow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have those.
Yeah, we've got the tallow, and right now we've got a lot of crepe myrtle flowing, and I've got cotton. I've got 30 acres of cotton that the bees are going off on right now, and it's just raining constantly.
Yeah.
So wet. It's
Do you
almost too
actually
wet.
get anything off of crepe myrtle besides pollen? I've never
Yeah.
known
Oh
crepe
yeah.
myrtle.
Oh
Nectar.
yeah. Yeah, it tastes like cherry bubble gum. It's crazy.
What?
Yes.
You sure that's
I-
the M factory up the street?
I mean, that's as close as I can equate it to. But yeah, anytime I go, like, especially when I do removals in an area where there's just tons of crepe myrtles, and that it tastes that honey and it tastes just like cherry bubble gum. So good.
Wow.
It's my
That
favorite. Like,
sounds like it tastes amazing.
it
I
is.
blue honey once. I did a cutout and there was a little patch about the size of a silver dollar that was a bright blue. And I said, what the hell? And I tasted it and it tasted like a frosty blueberry blat. So I think they got some frosty or something, a smoothie out of a trash can and made honey out of it.
Yeah, trash can honey. Hell yeah. Ain't nothing better than that.
Great, the local snow cone stand. Well, guys, I don't know if Chris is going to be able to make it on or not. He posted that he was having trouble and they had electrical problems at his house. His internet provider might be out. So I'd say let's go ahead and start. Looks like two of y'all are driving right now. So I think if we get this done, then y'all can focus on the road instead of on this.
I'm not driving.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Brittany is looking all around.
I'm driving.
Let me see. I've got the agenda on screen
Parking lot.
here. So our board attendee roll call. I'm going to go ahead and since you're, are you able to take notes, or do you want me to go ahead and just take notes as I go?
No,
here?
I'm taking notes.
Okay.
I'm taking notes, and we'll. I've got the whole itinerary right here.
Oh, okay.
Isn't there an app that automatically does voice to text on Zoom meetings so that 90% accurate? So you just have to edit it afterwards.
That would be a good add-on, for like
That
Zoom
would be.
Dragon or Dragon Naturally Speaking or something like that. That'd be cool. I don't know. I know YouTube can automatically generate subtitles, and then you can download those.
Uh-oh. My Wi-Fi's cutting out.
Okay. Let's see. So our board roll call. We've got Rex, we've got Brittany, we got Mark and Ed so far. So there's our roll call. That was quick and easy.
Hey,
Mark.
text Chris and tell him to download the Zoom app, and then he can do it on his cell phone.
For Chris?
Yeah. Yeah, if he's saying his internet doesn't work at his house, he can just run the meeting through his cell phone.
Well,
That's what I'm doing.
Chris,
Yeah,
can
me
you
too.
log in via cell phone? There. I don't know if he'll see that or respond or not, but I'll put it on the message. Okay, let me flip over secretary report. I didn't print it out, but let's see, we've got 4 of 6. Do we have our quorum? Can we vote on last month's? We need 4 of 6, correct? The majority.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so do you want to go through everything on the last month's meeting, Ed, or not?
Well,
You're-
I don't have a copy of it. So
Okay.
if there's anything that anybody needs to bring up,
Then they can
you
do it
know,
via email later. Yeah.
yeah, if anything needs to be amended, let me know, and I'll either change it, or you can go in there and change it yourself. It's no big deal.
Okay. Well, let's call for approval of last month's meeting minutes for the board. Do we have a second?
I second.
All right.
And so last month's meeting minutes are approved for our records. And let's see, what's next on our agenda? Treasurer's report.
Still $100.
All right.
No change.
Okay. Let's see.
But at some point, we're gonna start getting. So we had been given like I think it was 9 months or 6 months. I need to look at it from Frost where they weren't gonna charge us those fees. But then at some point they're gonna go back to charging us fees if our balance is below 600.
Right.
So either we got to get our balance up by getting some membership or change bank. So we have a few more months on that, but that's just something on the horizon to be thinking about.
I think that with the letter that Mark and I have worked on, then we can go ahead and start getting some memberships. But I really wanted to talk about that on this meeting. Was make sure
Okay.
that anything that we needed to cover. So let's. In fact, that would be our membership committee report. Was that where I had that, which is our next topic. So does that conclude your treasurer's report for our $100?
It does. Yes,
Okay.
it does.
Thank you. So since Chris isn't here, we'll table the conversation on whether he has spoken with TBA to be able to include us as a quote club under TBA or associated with TBA. That would give us more, potential members as well, and some legitimacy as well. But we'll talk about that if when he's available next. In the membership drive letter, Mark, you had mentioned some things about being able to eventually provide insurance or discounted insurance. I have no problems at all giving out the name of the insurance company that Ed and I use because I've already referred them to several removers here in the Dallas area. But at the same time, we can give people the list of Texas Insurance and then Citadel that we use as well, and let them do their own research on what the pricing is going to be. I did hear back from Texas Insurance after I let the policy. I told them I was going to let their policy lapse because they priced themselves out of my business, and so they want to have a conversation with me later this month on what my real numbers, sales numbers were, and everything. And they quoted me like $2,700 a year. Yeah.
That's great.
And for the exact same coverage, Citadel would charge me $465. Exact same.
Oh, I'm switching next year.
Yeah.
Way to go, Citadel.
Yeah,
I
that's way
did
cheaper.
notice though on that policy that they have a commercial exclusion. So I'm going to talk with them and see what it would cost for. So I think they're covering residential work, but not necessarily commercial. So I'll talk with them probably next week. I'll give them a call, and because I need to make sure that my coverage is going to cover me for doing school districts or the Army Corps of Engineers properties. So I'll find out.
Commercial exclusion is tricky because that's usually who wants your proof of insurance is all the commercial jobs.
Right.
Massage
But that's how they were able to snag me at a low rate too. So let's see. Did we have any discussion to be made on the letter that I wrote? Did everyone have a chance to even look at it that I sent out in the email? Are there any
I did
thoughts
not.
on it?
I haven't looked at it yet, Rex. I'm sorry.
I looked at it and I thought the initial version was like fine, but obviously I'm not that great of a judge because Mark was like, dude, you need to snazz it up.
Right. And I'm not a snazzy guy, so having that input from Mark is valuable to me to be able to make things sales worthy. I think, I've always been of the mindset that a thing ought to sell itself without having to be sold. And so learning marketing teaches you that you have to sell things. So we have to sell our information to potential members.
I think the second version is much better, and it's got some really good points. I think you did a really good job.
It is. Let me know, via email or this our meeting now, if you feel like it's ready to publish and send out, or are there some tweaks that we need to make on my wording? Or I don't want to overpromise benefits that we don't have in place yet. So that's why I listed some of those as, future things that we're working on.
Right.
It's kind of hard to even sell the list of, us being on a list when our own list it hasn't been updated yet. There's things on my listing that he's got a wrong phone number for me, a wrong email. And it's like, well, how do I fix these things? So.
Hey, don't feel too bad. The Harris County Beekeepers Association's website isn't even working, and their phone numbers and websites and everything, they've been trying to get it fixed for the last 3 months. And I told them about it, and they said, "Oh, well, the person in charge of that, they've been sick and busy and stuff like that." And so, I'm referring people to these organizations that don't even have an operational website.
Right.
Yeah.
Are they hosted by TBA host, web host or anything? The way?
No, GoDaddy.
Okay.
Yeah, and the site is parked. They said they've been working on it and trying to get it. And I said, just start a new website, get a new URL or something. It's easy enough. But anyway.
Something else I wanted to talk about was that we discussed last month and approved being able to approve members that don't have insurance. And so I guess we need to navigate how we're going to market that for the folks that do have insurance. Do we give them a priority listing on our listing? Do we put a little icon next to their name, a star or something showing that they're an insured remover? That's something that we need to think about. We don't need to make any votes or anything. I just wanted to put it out there that we need to think about how we're going to implement. Now we've got 3 different levels. Essentially, we've got our swarm catchers, we've got uninsured removers, and insured removers.
So I missed last month's meeting. Can you guys recap why y'all made the decision to approve that?
Liability. The club doesn't incur any kind of liability, so we don't really need to enforce having insurance. So that was the premise of why the whole and also a lot of people would join the club if there wasn't any type of insurance requirement. And since the club isn't responsible for any of the actions of any of the members, then it's feasible. And it wasn't in the bylaws. It was basically in the vetting criteria. So it's not really it doesn't go against our say organization policy. It's just what we were requiring for people to join. We think we can get more members by not requiring it, since the club doesn't incur any kind of liability. So that's the bottom line.
I mean, yeah, I do agree we'll get more members, and obviously it's already been approved. So that's what's happening. I just am curious, wonder if we'll get more members, but they might not be of they might not take removals seriously or be as professional, or I don't know. I guess I just feel like people who are serious about removals are going to carry insurance, and people who are not very serious about it. Well, I mean, there are exceptions to that rule, obviously, but yeah. But anyway,
Right.
that's cool. I was simply curious what the logic was.
Yeah, I've got 3 or 4 removal people here in the Dallas area that I refer business to, and one of them, she doesn't go any higher than a first floor soffit, and any second floor and higher, she'll refer to me. And but she doesn't carry insurance either. But she does removals full time.
Oh wow.
I would love for her to be a member, and to me, it does increase our numbers.
Yeah.
And eventually, she might be able to when she's given the name of a company that gives a decent price for the insurance. It won't be such a burden.
Well, let me ask: does she feel it's important enough to spring $400 or $500 for a FLIR unit or an infrared camera?
Yeah, she's got one. Yeah.
All right. Well,
It's just.
I didn't carry insurance until we started the organization, and I'd been kicking it around for a while. But the thing is, I've cut an electric line, I've cut a water line. I haven't done it in 10 years, but I have the ability to repair it. I have an emergency repair kits for all this, and bam, slap it together, shark bites, etc., and it's done. But I'm always worried about something that I can't fix, and I've been kicking around, and so you guys kind of pushed me over the edge, and I'm kind of torn. I would love to see more members, but if they're professionals, if they're really professionals, shouldn't they carry liability insurance? It's only what,
you took the
500?
words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, that
That's
was
how
the
I feel.
that was the intention.
Well, yeah. So basically, I agree with Brittany.
And that was the intention in our original forming of the group, with Ryan and Chris and I, a year and a half ago, was that our original intention was for it to be just for insured removers. I will say also that they're still going to have to go through the same vetting process, whether or not they're insured. So
Right.
That's true.
again, they would be just as liable for their own work and such as anyone else.
I don't know who your friend that you referred to in Dallas. Do you think that she would not be willing to spring for insurance if it was a requirement?
Well, she hasn't joined yet because she knows that's it's a $500 hurdle.
$500 hurdle for what?
For becoming a member, because we currently had it as having to have insurance.
Oh, okay, got you. So for insurance and for membership, gotcha. Well,
I don't know. It's
it's one of those things that we buy because we hope we're going to be covered when we need it, but at the same time, we hope we never need it.
right. I just think that any professional that wants to be recognized as such would give the customer a considerable peace of mind knowing that this guy that's working on my house, he's insured in case anything goes south. So yeah, I'm going to hire this guy because he's done the legwork. But as far as the club's concerned, we're not inheriting any type of liability. So I think that people that join, when they see the level at which the core group is operating at, will cause them to come up into that and rise up into it. I don't think it's something that we need to really force per se, but it's almost like you want to being the odd man out. Nobody wants to be the odd man out. So it's like everybody has insurance. Eventually, they're going to be like, okay, maybe I should really step up to the plate, especially as affordable as we're getting it right now through Citadel. So
what we could do, y'all had kind of asked if like doing some type of a ranking system or some way to differentiate between the professional removers that have insurance and the professional removers that don't have insurance that are at the like the structural level of the removal tier. we could possibly on the website like list the people with insurance like first for their county, so everyone who carries insurance like ranks higher, like Harris County or whatever. Everyone in Harris County operating with insurance shows up at the top of like the list on the website compared to the people who don't have insurance, and or maybe like also call them like preferred or platinum or some way to like differentiate them. Like I don't know, just an idea.
Like put a star by their name or something like that, with the star indicating a insured removal.
Sorry.
So that
What
maybe they can reference it.
Or we could even have three different lists. We could have, insured removers, swarm removers, uninsured removers.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would probably encourage those that are uninsured to go ahead and get insurance. I think that would be a peer pressure thing.
That's
what
a great idea.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I don't mind us waiting for that decision to discuss it with Michael and Chris also. I very much value their input too. So,
Yeah.
but I do feel like that we can get our bank account up to what it needs to be, a lot quicker if we open our doors a little bit wider for membership. We're getting into this season where it's hot for removals. I've started, I'm not scheduling nearly as much work as I did 2 months ago. I'm doing maybe three a week now instead of 7. So.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
doing-
it's so hot. It
In fact-
rained on me yesterday when I was doing a removal. The lady was apologizing. I was like, it feels amazing.
All right. So
Super
what
hot
else?
hive, and it was like 91 degrees, and I was getting completely beat down by the heat. Then all out of nowhere, this cold front comes through. It dropped to like 70 degrees. All of a sudden, I just got a second wind, and fortunately, the rain didn't hit. It grazed the area that I was at. So wow, it was one hell of a blessing.
Yeah, my truck hasn't had air conditioning for 3 years. What are you guys complaining about?
Yeah.
I don't think my truck's had air conditioning for 30 years. But I wear one of the nice vests. Okay, well, our next item for their meeting would be the website update and the listings that are in. Chris isn't here to discuss that right now, so we'll table that for when we are able to. And I think we need to communicate some by email on that, because I think that's pretty important.
Yeah.
Brittany, did you have something? I saw you raise your hand. No? Okay. Do we have anything from education chair?
That woman is like Wonder Woman. She looks like a dot.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Mark.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, if you get closer, it's picking up your voice better.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Diana Duke, who is appropriately named 5'11" a Wonder Woman, she took some video of a second story removal we did, and it was a triple threat. It was in the gable, it was in the soffit, and it was a dormer, and they were also in the drywall ceiling of the bedroom with the dormer. But the audio is not that great. She was recording it with her iPhone, so I've got to add some text to it.
Yeah, or do some voiceover too. That would work. That way you can explain things.
Right, right. But the idea was that I was going to try to show people how I can remove hardy plank. There's a couple of different methodologies that I use, like, cat's paw, or it up a little bit, stick a long sawzall blade behind it and cut the nails from behind. And then how to repair the little bits and stuff like that, and press up the edges so that when you put it back, everything looks great. That was I had suggested they would like to do the repair. That's kind of my gimmick. So that, or I think that would be interesting for people. So that's what I'm working on. I hope to have it finished by now, but I didn't.
Okay, so on videos like that, would you like for us to make some also as I
Yeah.
think with a common themed intro and everything, we can give some professional looking, how-to videos, or to add to a library. And so as I'll say that for now, I haven't done a YouTube video in 6 months. Why? Because my GoPro is a piece of crap. And so it's hard for me to video when my camera only lasts 10 minutes or, doesn't do the sound very well. So, with a better camera, that I need to invest in, I can continue doing those videos again.
Yeah. Well, everybody specializes in something, that makes them a little bit better than everybody else. I'm sure, Rex has some little gimmick or trick or something that, and Brittany and Ed, everybody does something a little bit different, a little bit better, and we can all learn from each other. So, that would be, great. Trap outs, I can't, and forced abscons, I'm like a baby, I don't know nothing about that, Miss Scarlett.
I understand. Yeah, and I think that's good. And we can, talk about the pros and cons to the way we do things, and explain that, hey, this is just one way of, many to approach getting whatever cat is being skinned.
Chris said the cell phone doesn't want to cooperate with us.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he may have like wider spread communication problems with the towers or something if they had power problems.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have anything else to add for education chair right now?
Well, what would you guys like to learn about? Is there anything that you think would benefit to draw in new members, that you think people want to draw, that'll be a draw to joining the organization?
I think that some how-to videos and maybe a library or a playlist of different types of, from doing a valve box removal to, trap out of a tree or a forced abscond from a tree, first floor soffits, dealing with hardy siding and hardy soffit versus your chipboard or press board masonite soffits, because those are two completely different approaches to how you treat your customer's property.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Put it together.
50-foot lifts, things like that, and then also, it might not be a bad idea if we have, we could do something like product reviews on different, vacuum boxes or vacuum methods.
That's a great idea.
Because that will get a bigger YouTube following as well, or however we market it. I don't know if are these videos, are we planning on those just being members only, or are they going to be open to the public? That's something we need to discuss.
I think they should be members only because,
So exclusive content, right? Okay.
I agree because, people are paying for membership. It should be a perk that they exclusively get.
I agree also. I was just thinking from the standpoint of, once you get your 1,000 viewers and view time, you can be monetized and make money off those. But if it's just members only, then it's not an issue then.
Yeah, but still, like, if we put all the videos out open to the general public, like, that's just like, teaching a lot of people
to take our
like,
business.
skills, yeah, without them ever having to, like, join the org or and not even just in Texas. Like, I'm talking about like wherever. Like, Mark has probably spent a lot of time developing his skills working with Hardy Board, which I'm very excited to watch those videos, by the way, because I'm not good at Hardy Board. But yeah, like, I'm sure you don't want to just be making, I don't know, I guess I can't speak for you.
No, I agree. I think we ought to keep it as exclusive content for members only. I was just kind of thinking out loud when I had mentioned, making it public. So now that we've discussed that, I'm completely fine with it being members only as a membership perk.
You're right, because I keep getting all these phone calls during this call.
They know you're busy, so it's time to call Brittany.
I've gotten like 4 phone calls on this call. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, my phone is
Yay,
permanently.
Brittany, go, Brittany, go.
Well, one of them was my husband, so that one, like, kind of doesn't count.
And you can get back to him. Yeah. Do we have any new business that we need to that wasn't added onto my agenda that we need to discuss?
No, unless we wanted to discuss Haney Fareed or.
The only other thing I can think of was we were supposed to bring Dan Jones into the conversation, but I don't know who was supposed to invite him. Was I supposed to invite him, or was Chris going to? I didn't know. We never really decided that.
I don't know. I do know that Chris has contacted Darwin Flynn to ask him if he would be on the membership committee. I talked with Darwin yesterday because I'm taking over his area for a referral business. Darwin's not able to do removals anymore, but he knows a lot of people in our area who do, so he'd be good for vetting.
Signal. There we go.
Are you about to go live with us doing a removal, Brittany?
What?
Are you about to start a removal?
No, I'm taking the bees into. I just took the bees out of my car. My phone is on top of the colony, so I'm sure you can hear bees. I'll be done with that in just a second. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I was unloading bees.
Okay. Let's see. We're talking about any potential new business for this meeting. I would say that we probably need to discuss at some point, what groups we need to send my letter out to. And we scan a database to send emails out to everyone who's got an email list on TAIS. For the introduction letter that will be sent out. That's the only thing I can think of that would be new business, and what kind of time frame for starting that.
Well, did I send you a list of my resource contacts that I send out to people when they call me?
I haven't seen that. I saw the list of potential Facebook groups to send the letter to.
Well, there was a list of online resources. The first thing on it was our association, and I think the second thing was the Texas Association of Texas Apiary Inspection Service list.
Right.
But that's just like local. There's, those Facebook groups like Bee and Swarm Removers of Texas, etc. But everybody could come up with a list of their local groups and everything. Austin County, Tarrant County, etc., and send it. And we could send that out your letter out to those people. I would really like to be able to start, actively soliciting members.
Is there anything that you can think of on the membership application that we would need to change?
No,
Given
it looks good.
Or just keep it the same, given that we.
No, it looked good. It looked good. It's got some sizzle now. You remember I said sell the
Well,
sizzle?
No, not the letter, but our membership app itself. Do you feel like it covers everything that we need to ask as far as us not requiring insurance anymore, or we just wait for membership and vetting to clarify that for each person?
Yeah, we might want to wait on that, but three years of membership is not necessarily a bad idea. But I don't know. Does the app right now, the application page say that you have to have liability insurance?
That I don't know. I can see if I can find it real quick.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the documents now. Let me see here. Membership.
Here's some girls I got from the Royal Oaks Country Club yesterday.
Nice.
Yeah, it's weird. I've never seen a country club that spans Westheimer and also spans Richmond. And the entrance to the country club was 6 blocks away from where the house was.
Okay, I've got our PDF open right now. So basically it explains that our membership year is January 1st to December 31st. That there's 2 different levels, that being swarm capture specialist and colony removal professional at $20 and $50 a year. Business name, personal name, website, address, phone number, email. What is your home county, and then what are the other counties you operate in? It asks whether or not someone is registered with TAIS and whether or not they have a transport permit.
Right.
How long have they been a beekeeper? How many hives do they maintain? Okay, please provide one of the following, which is basically the referrals, signed affidavit from other removers, from customers, referral from a member of the board, and that's it. It doesn't say anything on here about requiring sending in a copy of insurance. So to me, it's not even mentioned on the app. So it might be something that we need to add as some wording saying, send this in along with a copy of your insurance, for your platinum membership.
Well, yeah.
Or I think it needs to at least be mentioned, if we're going to require it. And I don't see it mentioned on the app.
Well, or it needs to be mentioned so that we can distinguish between, premium members and, associate members, or whatever wording we want to use.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think there's a benefit to us, telling the public which ones of us have liability coverage and which ones of us, can take ourselves that professionally.
Yeah, I think like Brittany had mentioned, and I had also, of us having either an icon or preferential listing. I think both of those are great for pushing people to get their insurance.
Right.
Because
like you could say that if you're insured, you're allowed to use the association logo on your business card.
right.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're going to have any way to enforce that or not, but but we can put it out there. Yeah.
It's a selling point.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like people care about recognition and money. So like giving them, special recognition on the website, like in the listings, or giving them like a membership discount for carrying insurance. Like, I think those are the two big, like, social architect type things that would move people in the direction of wanting to carry insurance.
Carry insurance, get $5 off your membership on the first year. I don't know.
I don't think it needs to be a financial incentive. I think it needs to be hey, the clout. Once they join, they realize that there's a whole nother level of being for those who are professionals who have insurance.
Yeah, they're going to get more business.
They're going to get more business.
Yeah.
And that's what made me get the insurance, was to realize that there's a level of professionalism above what I thought was professionalism.
There's nothing wrong with that. We don't have to, enforce it. It subtly comes on when they realize, hey, everybody else who's, out there really killing it has insurance. Maybe I should step up to the plate and figure this whole thing out. So
Right. And that makes me, I'm going to reword the letter before we send it out. And I may make a reference to, our insured our members who are insured, will have preferential listing, on our member list, something like that. I don't know. Because that tells them all, up front that, in that letter, that having insurance is going to benefit them.
right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. I'll reword that to this evening, either this evening or tomorrow, and submit it to all of us via email again for review and conversation, and hopefully quickly get this out and start getting some members.
All right.
Do we have any other business we need to talk about this evening?
No.
Not really. I mean, Chris is not present, so he would have more to add.
Okay. Well, we can get an update from him maybe via email or messenger or something on the website. Like I say, I would like to be able to edit my data that's got on that list and correct it.
Right.
All
Yeah,
right. Well,
the list is critical. We got to have that list. That list has got to be functioning. It's an essential part of our operation here. So
yeah, our marketing of ourselves is that list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And
to the public and to future removers. So it's almost like don't even bother until we get that whole thing ironed out, because I hate for people to get excited about it and then they go to look to see, and it's not like, oh my, look at you.
So do we need pins for our members?
3 snaps for Mark.
Platinum membership gets you a pin for little honeybee to wear on your lapel, like your vaccinated pins.
Hey, they used to pay me $500 every time I donated plasma.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
me
all
and
your plasma.
Tom Brugan up in Kingwood, Conroe. Yeah,
The Brugan's bees.
yeah, Brugan's bees.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had the highest antibodies in the state.
Yeah, you're already vaccinated, Mark. You don't need any synthetic
I've already caught everything.
MNRA. Yeah. Your T cell count is off the chart. So
Ed, do you feel like you got all the info you need for when you have time to put together our meeting agenda or our meeting minutes?
yes. Yes, I do.
It's that one.
What are you showing us, Mark?
A huge burn on my finger.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ouch.
about an inch long from a sawzall blade trying to go through cement board.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it gets hot, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the dang
It
thing
bends
is
and
hot. Then
you
this,
grab it, you straighten it out, and you burn yourself.
yeah, and then the rubber glove, it takes the heat and holds it.
Yeah.
Under the skin
And
like napalm.
this was like a pencil-sized chunk I took out of my finger 4 days ago, but yeah. Oh well.
Be
Ouch.
careful. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end our meeting. If we're all done here, Brittany's not driving anymore, so Ed can get back on the road.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank everyone for showing up. I appreciate it. 6:30 came a lot quicker than I was expecting. I looked up and about had to change my
Oh.
drawers when I realized it was time for the meeting. So
TMI.
y'all have a good evening and be careful. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Good
Bye,
night.
y'all.
Bye.
It was in. Mind if I go back to the news?
Want it done. Rebound.
For the morning, police were called to the home of Sherman's ex-in-law in East Washington, responding to a report of a burglary in progress. According to the police, Sherman was attempting to force entry into a family member's home. The suspect fought with officers while being taken into custody. Police deployed a canine dog to help make the arrest.
It was a minor laceration to the lower leg and ankle area as a result of the canine contact.
Police say no family members were injured and Sherman never entered the home. Just before the alleged burglary, police say they suspect the superstar of leaving his severely damaged vehicle and fleeing on foot after striking a cement barrier. Washington State Patrol says they're now investigating Sherman for a hit and run and driving under the influence. The 33-year-old free agent and Super Bowl champ is widely regarded as a leader both on and off the field. He's the vice president of the NFL's Players Association. Today, the association releasing a statement saying they've activated their domestic violence crisis protocol for the protection and support of everyone involved. Tonight, his manager telling NBC News he's shocked, calling Sherman a family man. Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News.
The government of Iran calls the charges baseless, but tonight the FBI says it's all very real, accusing 4 Iranian intelligence operatives of plotting to kidnap an
Oh, yeah, so I did see this.
regime right here in the U.S. Here's Pete Williams.
The FBI says it was no movie plot, a secret 2-year effort by Iran to keep close tabs on this woman, Mahsa Ahmadinejad, at her house in Brooklyn with the goal of kidnapping her.
I'm an Iranian journalist, activist, but to be honest, the government in Iran have different names for me.
She's an outspoken critic of the Iranian regime's human rights record, especially its treatment of women, an author with a big profile on social media. Federal prosecutors say these 4 men in Iran, operatives of its intelligence service, hatched a plot to snatch her off the street, hiring private investigators to watch and photograph her house, falsely telling them she owed money to a client in the Middle East. The FBI says it found this screenshot showing that one of the Iranian men even researched ways to spirit her away by boat. U.S. authorities were so concerned they moved her to safe houses for 8 months. A 5th person, a woman in California, is charged with helping move nearly $500,000 here from Iran to finance the plot. Iran's foreign ministry tonight calls the charges baseless and ridiculous, but the Justice Department says Iran has a history of dragging dissidents back home to be jailed or executed. Lester?
All right, Pete, thank you. So stunning images coming out of South Africa tonight where the worst rioting in decades has left at least 72 people dead. One mother was forced to toss her 2-year-old off a balcony after looters set the building on fire. Incredibly, the child was uninjured. Hundreds of stores have been targeted. The rioters are protesting the jailing of a former president in a corruption case, as well as poverty and inequality. Here at home, the CDC today confirmed with many fear drug overdose deaths hitting a record in 2020.
So my question for the average South African is this. Were you better off under apartheid or are you better off now? Zimbabwe used to be one of the biggest food exporters in Africa. Now, no, Rhodesia used to be, and now Zimbabwe is suffering from famines. Freedom's a wonderful thing unless your belly's empty. If your belly's empty, it sucks.
Exacerbated by the pandemic. Here's Kate Snow.
Overdose deaths have been rising for years, but you can see the increase that coincides with COVID. Preliminary data from the CDC shows from December 2019 to December 2020, overdose deaths rose nearly 30%. That's 93,331 deaths last year. Turner Benoit saw it firsthand. He helps families who lack resources find treatment.
The pandemic really created a perfect storm for people in early recovery. We had people that were living in halfway houses, relying on servicing and attending 12-step meetings every day. All of those things got ripped away, and their link to recovery services were taken away as well.
And services shut down.
Absolutely.
He says government stimulus checks played a role too.
People use those funds a lot of times to go straight out and get more of the substance that they need.
An increasing supply of deadly fentanyl also drove overdoses. Deaths from fentanyl and other synthetic opioids were up 54%.
It's cheap, it's synthetic, it's easy to make, and it's so lucrative.
Earlier this year, we toured the DEA lab in New York. Users who are dependent on opioids are drawn to fentanyl, but it's also put in counterfeit pills that anyone could buy. And the danger is if you get too much of fentanyl, you can die. Ed Turnan's son Charlie died after buying what he thought was a prescription painkiller through a dealer he met on Snapchat. It contained fentanyl.
The drug landscape has changed. It's more like a minefield for our kids, where their next move could be their last.
The Turnan's Foundation helped create new outreach going up on social media tomorrow, bringing attention back to an epidemic overshadowed for months by COVID. Kate Snow, NBC News.
And as the U.S. struggles to get that crisis under control, Democrats are launching a new effort to legalize a different drug at the federal level, marijuana. Gabe Gutierrez now with the exclusive in our series Red, White, and Green. No longer considered a pipe dream, today top Democrats rolled out a draft of their plan to try to legalize marijuana at the federal level. This is a historic day. First obtained by NBC News, the pot push calls for removing cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, expunging federal records of nonviolent cannabis offenders, and setting up regulations to tax pot products. So, do you have the votes? Well, we're working on it. We sat down exclusively with 3 key Senate Democrats trying to sway their colleagues. This ought to be a Republican states' rights dream, because what we say in our bill.
Please send me information on becoming a vendor at the monthly farmers market. Please send me information on being a vendor at the
No.
It's for Vivi. Sit in the hot sun for 4 hours.
What?
Sell honey.
I don't
have enough money to do a monthly. A monthly farmer's market.
Okay.
What's a job minor down there retiring?
She don't want a job. I'm thinking of like forcing her to take a job.
Is we're going to pop products. So do you have the votes? Well, we're working on it. We sat down exclusively with 3 key Senate Democrats trying to sway their colleagues. This ought to be a Republican states' rights dream, because what we say in our bill is we're going to decriminalize at the federal level, but we aren't going to force the states to legalize. We haven't been able to get infrastructure done yet. Why bring this up now? We got to do a lot of things to move America forward. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer faces an uphill battle, not just getting Republicans on board, but also President Biden.
I've spoken in the past about the president's views on marijuana. Nothing has changed. There's no new endorsements of legislation to report today.
Critics say the weed industry is marketing to kids, and some doctors report high-potency pot is being linked to mysterious illnesses, including severe vomiting in young users.
I think long term, this is going to show a lot more damage to our children than we, are admitting at this point.
Still, overall, Americans' views on cannabis have changed dramatically. Back in 1969, only 12% backed to marijuana legalization. Now, 68% do. More and more people across the political spectrum want it. And so it's going to roll. It's going to roll. Long odds, but high hopes. Dave Gutierrez, NBC News, Washington. Up next, how to navigate the confusing COVID testing rules for travel before your next big trip.
Only 6% of U.S. retail businesses have a Black owner. That needs to change. So,
His favorite home furniture store, Galley Furniture. You have a chance to win a free Tempur-Pedic mattress. Buy Tempur-Pedic mattress at Galley Furniture right now. $3,000 better. Free delivery today. And the app goes, win it all in 2021. Your mattress purchase is free. Sleep better, live better on your Tempur-Pedic mattress. Buy today, free delivery today. The app goes, win all your mattresses free.
Just in tonight, Britney Spears scoring a win in the battle over her father's conservatorship. The judge granting Spears' request to choose her own attorney. The pop star spoke out in court demanding father Jamie Spears be charged with conservatorship abuse. He has denied any wrongdoing. Now, something causing a lot of confusion, COVID testing rules for Americans traveling abroad this summer. Tom Costello with what you need to know.
For Americans finally taking off for foreign skies, confusing that inconsistent rules. Some countries do want to see those CDC vaccination cards or a European equivalent. Others don't. Regardless of vaccine status, dozens of countries require a negative COVID test from a U.S. pharmacy, clinic, or airport test site before passengers ever leave the U.S.
Have you ever been after COVID?
No. At Dulles Airport in Washington, temperature checks and nasal swabs for passengers of all ages. The price varies depending on how quickly you want the results. $75 for 2 to 3 day results, up to $250 for results the same day. For a family of 4, that can run $1,000.
Definitely worth it. I live in Egypt, so I need to go back to see my family, my kids, my wife.
Yeah, but it's not cheap.
It's not.
If you're American heading over to Europe right now, France, Italy, Greece, Germany are some of the easiest to get into, where you just show your proof of vaccine. But all of this is changing by the minute.
Regardless of where you travel, everyone returning to the U.S. must have a negative COVID test to even board a plane.
It was easy, it was fast, the results came on my phone via WhatsApp, and and everybody accepted it on my phone coming through.
U.S. Airlines constantly updating their mobile apps as countries constantly change the requirements, allowing passengers to upload their test results. United partnering with Abbott Labs and selling a $25 instant self-test kit so passengers can test themselves overseas on a video call with technicians, then board that return flight.
It prevents them from having to seek out a test in an international country that they may not be familiar with, and it's just a really helpful part of the process to help them travel.
Not all countries accept the same COVID test results, so know what the country you're traveling to requires before you spend hundreds of dollars on a COVID test.
Let's go. Tom Costello, thanks. Up next for us tonight, the 3-year-old genius inspiring America.